Oh man, does it still have the wrong info here? Silly. That Ratatouille is done. Alright. So that should be fixed. I'll put this guy down here. That looks fine. That looks fine. Alright. This is going to be hard to not have my mouse in the picture. Okay. Hi guys, how's it going? So should I call you by your real name or by your screen name? Maybe I'll stick to Library Rat. I personally adore that name. But anyway, I'm glad you're there. I should be able to... Well, that didn't help. Okay. Anyway, I can see you guys pretty clearly from here. I figured I'd get started with just removing glue. Because this particular... Alright, cool. This particular one is going to be a pain. I don't know if this is fixable because I have tried to fix it before. I don't know how well you can see the old yellow adhesive on here. But it's now so bulky that I can't really get my new adhesive on in a way that is valuable. Ooh, that's dripping. And I've got my little tray here of other pieces that are soaking to get in acetone to get the old adhesive off. So, we'll see. Okay. So how's it look so far? I think I like where this camera's at for this particular project. Although do let me know if I'm quiet or anything. I sure appreciate that feedback. Okay. Twitch keeps trying to tell me about my mobile live stream manager I can get on my phone. Thank you, Twitch. Very kind. Oh, good. I'm glad. So I figure I'll start with adhesive removal, because I need to do that for this particular one, although I have a bunch of stuff that's just shattered. So as soon as I'm utterly sick of this, or decide I do need to actually let it sit, then I can move to all the other stuff that I had. For anybody who saw the pictures, my goodness, I have piles of broken things. I have broken things from before I moved to this apartment. I moved here a year ago. And then stuff that broke in the move, and then stuff that broke subsequently. That's all been sitting in one ever-expanding pile, which is a bummer. So this was a good excuse to sit down and do a bunch of this type of work and chat with somebody. So thank you. I sure appreciate you. And this mug is a real bummer. It's a beautiful art show piece with salt glazing. So I don't know if you could really see that well, but I love this type of glazing. It's like these little explosions of crystals under the glaze. Really, really cool stuff. And so we loved this particular mug, and it took a tumble, and that was super sad. So if I can get this back, I would like to. I'm also going to see about maybe for the mugs and stuff whose handles are broken, but their main chamber is in great shape. If I could just file the ceramic, I feel like you should be able to file ceramic. And if I could just file down the sharp bits, then I'll just use them without a handle. Like, whatever. I'll drink cold milk out of it. What, like, Not everything I consume is so piping hot that I definitely need a handle on my vessel. So that's going to be if I... Okay, I can totally file it. Thank you. Thank you, ceramics expert. Not here. Definitely knows a thing or two about ceramics. So yeah, I might go that route because like they're just such nice mugs. And this adhesive is a jerk. Let me tell you. Okay, so now we have a debate going. If one is to sand a ceramic mug, is there a specific method one should be using? Okay, I love you're planting a succulent. Ooh, many ideas. Thank you. Although I am one of those people who has just like too many planters that are too small. I could have like 1,000 teeny tiny little succulents, but I can't grow anything that has an actual decent root system. So I have to be careful. Oh, so you're saying use a metal file as opposed to like a power sander with this classic sandpaper on it? It's starting to come clean. Oh yeah, okay. I've let this one sit for a minute in the acetone, and that's looking way, way, way better. So my acetone, by the way, is hilarious. I haven't gone out and just bought a container of like professional grade acetone where it's just the pure chemical that I want. This is acetone that you would use to remove nail polish. So it smells very fruity and has a bunch of other additives that are basically things that would protect your skin, which in this moment, that means I'm not wearing gloves for this. And I don't mind that too bad. But I always do wonder how much that leaves behind some sort of residual meh that I don't really want. But... Alright. Yeah, I think I might end up... That side's pretty okay. I think this... welcome. Late is not really late with this. I'll be doing this for a while. I'm trying at the moment to get all the old adhesive off of the time I tried to repair this mug before. It's just like, I'll actually hold it up here. This is a great mug. Like, I don't want to lose this mug. That's a nice mug. So if I can get that handle repaired, that'd be really cool. But I did try to glue it in the past, and there's all this nasty, nasty old adhesive on here. So that's what I'm trying to get off right now. So what I think I might do is, now that it's kind of soaking, I've got my little cotton ball fragments full of acetone. Might let that sit for a minute and then work on something that's not already covered in old adhesive and cover it in new adhesive, because that's obviously the answer here. I have a bunch of new adhesives though, so I'm actually fairly excited about that because I can change it up a little bit. Let me make this into a little bandage here. That's on there. Pretty okay. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to move this stuff aside and let it kind of sit. Because I've got a bunch of stuff to play with. Oh, here. This one should be a really easy, satisfying one, which not here will recognize. Okay, no, that's legit. There's some really good stuff here. I got this mug as a housewarming gift when we moved into this apartment a year ago, and I was washing it the other day and heard a unfortunate sound, and so even though it looks absolutely flawless, you know, that there is just a nice little mug. I don't know if this can pick up at all. There's a hairline crack right up along the top here. I could hear it, and I could sort of see it if I played with it a little bit. So what I'm actually trying to do here is preemptively repair it, so that the whole thing doesn't break off. Because as far as I can tell, the bottom joint's fine. And so I actually bought a specific adhesive just for this. So this grand stuff, Aran Alpha, is... I got really spoiled on this. It's Crazy Glue. It's from the same manufacturers that do Crazy Glue. But they went and made like a professional grade version of Crazy Glue that's, I gotta get the pin for that, comes in different viscosities. And so a lot of times Crazy Glue has like a gel to it because you want it to like leave a little line of glue when you're repairing something so you can kind of see where it is. But you know how like old style Crazy Glue, you'd put it on and it just like wicked away and became this super flat fluid. That stuff's great if you're trying to get into a narrow crack along here, which is what I really want to pull off right now. I might have to grab some tweezers too. But I gotta open this little dude up. Okay, so this is weird. I don't know why. There's an instruction on here that says peel here. So I will. I mean, I guess if it says eat me, then you shrink or whatever. What is this? Oh, it's the big hazard statement. Ooh, wow. This is actually cooler than I anticipated. So check it out. There's an entire warning on the inside of here. Which you know, sure, if you want to stick it on a tiny little thing of Crazy Glue, that's a way to do it. Precautionary statements: avoid breathing vapors, combustible liquid, may cause allergy to skin, suspected of damaging fertility or the unborn child, obtain special instructions before use, do not handle until all safety precautions have been read. Yeah, don't drink it. This is legit good stuff. Yeah, I can't take it to California because we know that a lot of things cause cancer in California. So let me get a pin. I'll be right back. I don't know how well you guys can see all of this. We just finished setting everything up. I'm very happy with it. Okay. Okay. So I've got my super thin viscosity adhesive. Yeah, I can see the crack. It's so light. It's so small. And when I'm doing fossil preparation, we consolidate cracks like this all the time because, of course, under a microscope, that is a huge crack. The fact that I can just see it is mostly just convenient. And so I would use a pair of tweezers to try and wick that in. Let's see what I got in my prep kit. Actually, I might have a good pair for that. Alright. So for those who have not seen me doing taxidermy, you can get a little kit like this on Amazon for like $25-35. And it comes with all manner of fun toys. All sorts of good stuff. And in this case, I just want a fine pair of tweezers. But some of these I did have to look up, which is delightful. It's always good to learn new stuff. But I won't be using most of that today. That is for cutting up dead animals. But now I have my small tweezers. Oh, wow, the focus does not like that. Let me try this. There we go. Woo! And at the field, they still have ones that are finer than this. I think they've actually been ground down to be, like, really wonderful. I don't have anything that nice. So you probably can hear the foil. I have a bunch of aluminum foil available because even though I have this nice plastic work surface, you know, I don't need tons of extra adhesive and other garbage just sitting on it. So it's nice to have the non-reactive disposable stuff. So I can pick up just a bit. Should I move you over here? And what I'm trying to do is get it to wick into the crack. So I'm actually gonna, there we go. I'm pulling apart the crack a little bit. I don't think you guys can see it. I don't think my camera is strong enough. But I'm just gonna wick So I'm holding the crack open a smidge. Man, from here now it looks monstrously big. Wash these with acetone. Try again. It's already starting to just stick my tweezers together. Nuggets. This might not work. So now I'm just thinking about the concept of things causing cancer only in California. Like you would be on the plane and then you cross over the border and But oh man, did my feed just totally poo out of me? Let's see. Nothing looks good there. Let's see. See if we can get me back. Anything? I don't know, guys. It looks totally dropped on my end. I hope you guys can see better than I can. Reconnecting. Okay, well, I'm glad that you guys can still hear me. Is the video broken on your end? Because I'm not seeing video on this end. I'm playing with my settings a little bit here. Okay. Yeah, that's weird that the video is frozen, but apparently you can hear me? Okay, so one person's got video. My video is actually still frozen. It's I can see my hand holding the mug. Which is, of course, not really what I'm going for here. Okay, well, I'm glad the audio is still working. If nothing else, I can just talk to y'all. Like you people. Man! Yeah, because I'm looking at my bitrate. It looks like it should be working. Okay, so you guys are still getting video, because I'm not. My video is dead. Huh. Let me try reloading, I'm glad. Let me try reloading this page. I tell you, technology, right? Okay. Okay, I think then I'm back. So I will stop messing with the video and we'll go. So, good. I'm glad that you guys actually had it better than I did. Although I suppose hearing me whinge about it is still not really entertainment. Ah, man! So I was so concerned that my tweezers went and dried. And so they're covered in grode. Yeah, because I need capillary action to be able to get into this crack and just stabilize it. And part of me just wants to, like, douse the whole thing in adhesive, but that won't really work. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that the video's choppy. I've been playing with it, so it's possible that this is on my end. As far as Twitch is concerned, it's giving me a little thingy that says, "Oh, your video quality is excellent." So thanks there, but I've had that lie to me before. I'm skeptical face on that one. Oh yeah, actually now I can see my bitrate had totally plummeted at one point. There is potentially a problem in that my significant other is on a conference call right now that got scheduled after I scheduled this. And we decided to just go for it. So that could be eating up bandwidth, but don't know. Oh well. I'm going to try one more round with this glue. and then pick up the next thing I want to try. Man. It is hard doing this without a microscope. So with a microscope, I'd be able to see if it was going to the crack. Which, let me tell you, is super satisfying. To watch this, like, infinitesimally small amount of fluid get sucked into the cracks of a fossil. Well, I'm trying to actually, like, pump it back and forth a little bit. Because as much as you don't think of ceramics as having any flex at all, there is a little bit there. But it's not moving as much as I want. Alright, well, we're going to set that guy aside and let it dry, and then I'll play with it later if it needs it. It might just be great. Who knows? Because it's such a small crack, it's not going to need a lot of stabilization. That's kind of my hope, is that it'll just, you know, be fine. So, okay, put my Aran Alpha over here. Make sure I don't stick my wrist in the super glue. Not that I've ever done that one. I think the best thing I ever did with a bad chemical, there's the start to a story, is I left my hands resting in hydrogen peroxide while I was working on something, and then like an hour later I lifted them up and saw that the whole layer of skin on the bottom of my arms had died, so it was bright white and super bad. So I'd love that to remain the worst chemical burn of my life. I don't really need worse than that. Hydrogen peroxide is a delightfully horrific substance that just loves to destroy oxygen-bearing organic tissue, and we put it on our kids' skin knees, and that's funny because it's only 3% that you buy from Walgreens or whatever. You cannot buy 100% hydrogen peroxide without like special licenses and a pretty good reason why you need something that could dissolve an entire human body. Which is pretty exciting. But by all means, put it on your skin knee. I have some in my closet. It's great. Oh man, I don't know if this one's going to come off at all. Yeah, this mug might need to be repurposed. I'm not feeling great about that. Alright, and then letting that sit. What else have I got in my big bag of gross, horrible things? Boom. Big bag of bad. So literally, I've just been filling this with all manner of broken stuff. Ooh, okay, here. These are some good ones. I have good stuff in this box. This one's a great one. A lot of these bowls, I don't actually... Yeah, obviously, I'd like them to be fluid sealed again. But even if they're not, I'll put nuts in them and whatever. I'll still use a cracked bowl as long as it's, like, together. So, try some of these guys. Oh, that's a good one, too. It's so funny to pull out these ceramics because they're kind of like old friends. Like, oh, there you are! I missed you! I'm sorry you fell apart that one time. And then I stuck you in a bag. You know, friendship. Let's see. I do plan on getting out my epoxy near the end of this. I don't even know if it's still good, so that'll be its own little bit of exploration. But man, there's some good stuff in here. Okay. That goes there. Any weird fragments. Okay, put that down there. Okay. All manner of beautiful objects that I can try playing with. Um, wow, that's horrifying. Library rat. I just saw your comment about your school nurse. Wow. Yeah, no, hydrogen peroxide. Actually, totally legit, horrifying. Okay, so we can just go for an easy. Here, let's go for an easy win. I've had a couple of not easies right here. So let's go for one that's probably just going to work right off the bat. So this is a coaster. It is pretty beat up at this point, but I do love it. And, you know, keeps my sweaty cups off my table. And so it is a pretty straight 3-piece break. And so for this one, I wouldn't use the fancy Aran Alpha. I want something with that tacky glue feeling. So for that, I have just like basic super glue. Don't need to get weird about it. Just use the stuff that does the thing, as they say. Okay, so there's a weird little fragment, but I think that probably goes there. And this one's kind of fun because it's got the little cork base still on it, so I actually want to keep that because it kind of acts as a band-aid. So that doesn't bother me. And then there's this extra floppy piece that's just barely holding on, so I'll glue that guy on first. Ooh, yeah, swishing with hydrogen peroxide sounds like no fun. Although I think it even says that, like, on the container of hydrogen peroxide. It's like, ooh, it's an oral debrader or whatever. I'm like, ooh. Okay, so that first bit went on easy peasy. And then looks like I'm missing a corner here, which is probably somewhere mixed with all the rest of this stuff, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's a coaster. So that part I don't have to be too precise on. So let's put that. Alrighty. Alright, so let's hold that for a second. And my super glue is doing that classic thing super glue does where it won't stop leaking. Because you squeeze the little metal tube and it doesn't poof back out. So I have plenty of that available. Oh, this looks like it just went. Good, that's what I want. There, we have a victory. Oh, I should get this glued on. There, good. I have some extra super glue right there. Alright. So there. We have one absolute victory. This is now a coaster again. I don't know about the rest of this stuff. But, you know, a flat disc that I put my beverages on, fantastic. I do want that. It'll be nice to have this guy back in circulation. So, fine. In honor of that, I'll have some water. For anybody who's ever worked in my lab, closed top container, you know it. Okay, so that, yep, that's doing the thing. I'm going to set this guy aside on a nice flat surface. Actually, no, I'll put it behind me so it's out of the way and I won't bump it. So wouldn't that be the thing? Oh, hey, while I'm over here, so, my mom was kind enough to send me this guy. This is a foil ball that I made as a kid. You can see, you know, candy wrappers and stuff are in there. So I started off with just little candy wrappers and it got to the point where I was just wrapping it with sheets of foil. And these days I've heard about that Japanese foil ball challenge where you hammer it until you get a smooth ball. And I can't think of a better final deposition for my childhood foil ball than to hammer it into a perfectly smooth, shiny sphere. So that's going to be a video at some point in the future. I don't know how hammering's going to work in terms of audio, so I might have to like turn down my audio or play with things like that. But I like that idea. So this is a future project. Let's put that there for right now. All right, back to gluing stuff. Let's see. This guy seems fairly straightforward. It's funny, all this stuff is kind of dirty because it was all in just a big bag. So, you know, grim. So this appears to be, yeah, this is just literally one piece. Like, boop, boop. So I did bring a cloth to just basic cleanup on stuff. Because I don't want to wash things that are broken because I don't want to lose little fragments, you know? I want to keep it nice. Good, I have somebody who's going to watch if I do the Fireball challenge. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, so there. That looks a little less crusty than it was. And so this guy does not look like I've attempted to repair it. Oh no, I have. There is old. Oh, but it's just flaking off. Man, I did a bad job. I bet it was slightly wet. I don't know if you've ever tried that, where you break a mug in the sink while you're washing it, and you try to repair it a little too soon, but since the inside surface of this is porous, it kind of absorbs a little bit of the moisture and takes longer to dry. Ooh, yeah. So I'm literally just picking the old adhesive off of this. I did bring a brush, like a metal brush, but I don't want to use it if I don't have to. Road. Yeah, okay, so this is another one I had attempted to repair in the past. I think I did like a rush job, and it didn't work, and then I just threw it in the big bag of broken things. And the big bag of broken things is eternal. Like, the moment I think I've got everything out of it, I inevitably knock something against a faucet or whatever, but nuts, yeah. So I don't know if I could get this to be actually tight. Yeah, okay, so this, the link up on this isn't very tight because the old adhesive's keeping it apart, which is annoying. Because, of course, the adhesive would normally, like, fill in all the little cracks and actually make it a better closure, but if you do a bad job, it doesn't work. It's weird, I know, it's unprecedented. I might have to raise my camera a little bit, because I find myself having to hold my arms at kind of a funny place for you guys to see what I'm up to. This is just acetone again, trying to get that extra stuff up. I flaked off everything I could just pick off, but now I gotta actually, like, give it a little more effort. Silly effort. These bowls are nice. I got these as a Christmas present years ago, so they're, again, talking about you're here for the art show. These are really cool bowls. And they have a handle on them. I don't know if you noticed that there. Ah, these are just the best. You want to eat something on the couch? Pop in one of these guys and go eat your mac and cheese in front of the TV or whatever. So I use these a ton. Okay, so the good news is the amount of old adhesive on this is nothing compared to the old adhesive on the mug. And cotton balls are, of course, nice because they're slightly abrasive. You got the long fibers that pull up whatever shmoo you're working with. I am somewhat getting acetone absolutely everywhere. Where's my cooktop? Acetone, not something you want everywhere. TM. Yes, technical term. Thank you. So in completely different news, I've spent like the last 2 weeks now trying to get this workshop space active. And one of the final things I was able to today is get this plastic countertop on here. This thing, I have it upside down right now, but it's like a measuring mat, almost like a quilter's mat, where it's got the square grid on it, and it shows you inch demarcations. And it on one side it has the hashes to be able to do like right angle or obtuse angle cuts, not right angle because that's the grid. And it's like 45-degree angle. It's really nice, and I found it in an alley, and whoever had it previous to me had cut the first 2 3/4 inches off the end, so it didn't start at 1, it started at slightly before 3, which is not ideal. But, you know, you can do the math, you can figure it out. And so that's going to be my new workspace here, where I cut the final 4 inches off of it so that it fits on my desk. And it does very satisfyingly. And now I have it upside down right now because I don't want to get acetone on it, actually. I didn't want the color from the grid to come up. But for other projects, it'll be right side up because then that's actually super useful. So I'm looking forward to that. Alright, so that piece is okay. Acetone's super volatile, so while it is soaking in to the ceramic, it should dry within the next couple minutes, and I can go back to messing with it. I don't know how well you guys can see. A little bit. There's some of the white here on this side, since it's drier. There you can see the old adhesive still kind of on here. It's whiter now because I've been messing with it with the acetone. So and re-repairing like stuff you want to eat out of is never going to work quite as well as you want it to. Like, I don't know if this bowl will ever hold soup again. That would be cool, and I would like that. But especially since I'm re-repairing it. Like, first time repairs, the joints are so tight. You have all these little crumbs, all the little tiny bumps and weird edges that fit together like a perfect little jigsaw. But once you repair it once, a lot of those get pulled off with the bad, well, not bad, with the old adhesive. And so you lose that. So this bowl, again, might end up being more of a work bowl. Because I like having bowls to throw screws in, or to put, you know, gross stuff that I wouldn't want to eat, or wouldn't want to touch my food in. So even if it's, you know, let's say it's not 100% fluid compatible, but I could throw wet stuff in it, I could use it for taxidermy. And then it's just a reusable bowl that I can use to hold on to stuff and have as part of my workspace. So I don't mind having imperfect ceramics, but at this point I definitely have my fill of pen cups, so I don't need that. The vast artistic world of pen cups. Okay, I'm gonna let that one dry. But you can see, let me try scooting this up just a smidge. But, you know, that's, I got that whole edge more or less cleaned up. As it dries, I can see some of the remaining adhesive that I missed. So you can see there's this little tiny whiter element up here, so I've got to get that guy. But that's, you know, you dry it, you check, you dry it, you check. Expecting it to be fast is how I got into the situation to begin with and needing to re-clean it, so trying not to make the same mistake 4 times. It's interesting how I keep finding the most adhesive up here at the tips, like the bowl edge. Maybe part of the reason this didn't work as well is I didn't put as much adhesive along the bottom last time. I cannot ask Mia the Past. I'm not sure what Mia the Past was up to, but we're generally friends, so I think Mia the Past had the best intentions. So, alright. Okay, then I'm gonna let that sit for like a minute. Oh, okay, and here, this part dried, and well, not the fuzzy, but I can really see kind of in here some of those flaky white bits. So I gotta get that out. So, and then I've got my weird stuff that I want to do after the ceramics. Because ceramics is the main thing I've got. I have a lot of shattered ceramics because I'm cool. Other weird stuff I have that I'm hoping to get to today. I do have a metal Christmas decoration where one of the antlers came off of a reindeer. I have a metal measuring cup where the handle came off the measuring cup. And I have a, like this really cool cooking spoon thing. I can grab that real quick. This guy. So it's like a good wok spoon, and the handle came off, and I just have to put the wooden handle back on. And then my weird one, which I don't know if it's repairable to any value, is the plastic spool of kite string. That one of the handles broke off this plastic spool. And I don't have any idea if there's an adhesive that'd be strong enough to make that where I'd actually want to fly kite with it. But I figure I should play with it, and if not, I need to just retrieve all the nice kite string. Because I got some real good string on there. And now where we are in Albany Park in Chicago, there is a fantastic park called Horner Park. Just easy walk, quick bike right away. And Horner Park has a nice hill that like everybody goes kite flying on. It's that perfect raised hill where the tops of the trees are almost level with the top of the hill, so you actually get a lot of freedom. But, if you run too far, you're going to run into trees and they'll eat your kite. And so the edges of the park are all full of kites. But Sugru. Sugru? No. What is a Sugru? Or Sugru? Also, I need to figure out how to pronounce your name. Meganura Orca? That's another one. I know people's actual names, but I'm being polite and not using them because of the internet. Sugru. I know of Sugru. I've never gotten to play with it, now that you're describing that. So, is it like an epoxy? Where you actually have two different things that you mush together into a clay and then make something with? Because I know of it. And actually, I think someone used it in the lab. Tom. I think Tom used it in the lab when he was working on repairing a model of a turtle that I gave him. But I still don't know if that would work for ceramics, but that would probably work for a lot of the other stuff I'm trying to fix. Oh, if it's just an oxygen cure. So no, I will have to expand my adhesive world, which is pretty exciting. Oh, what a good friend. This is too good for me. Take it yourself. You should buy it for yourself. You deserve it. Everyone deserves nice adhesives. Yeah. Yeah, I figured I knew who you were, but again, saying people's names on the internet, you gotta be careful. You should at least ask permission. It's one of those, I think that's that classic thing, Hello, what's your name? What's your pronouns? Can I say your name out loud on the internet? Basic courtesy 2020. My pronouns are she, her. I gotta stop messing with this. Alright. Feel pretty good about it, though. Okay, so I'm gonna set that down. Let that dry a little bit more. Who do we have next? Let's go for this guy. So again, continuing the art show. This is an early nice little bowl. Nice browns, nice, pretty simplistic decoration, and this is another one I repaired once and then dropped it and it broke differently. And so this one I never hope to be able to have fluid safe. Like, I've broken it far, far too much for that. And, you know, you accept your losses. It's okay. But if I can get the side back on, these are, like, having the really steep-sided bowl like this is, like, super great for nuts and stuff. It's like an idealized munchie bowl. So, this one's a little bit more of a puzzle. So, and I've got some pretty small fragments on this one. This might be one I don't succeed at, which is fine, you know. This is one of those chores where you got to figure out if you can fix it, and if you can't fix it, then you give it up. You know, it gets thrown away, or I'll smash it and use the pieces for something else, you know, kind of dealy. But it's good to not have it just live forever in a bag, wishing I could fix it. Because sometimes you just can't. It's alright. Yeah, you can see how totally destroyed that corner is. This one might not be worth putting back together. This guy goes on the inside. I don't think I'm going to repair this one. So my old repair job, I can actually see light through. Oh, I thought I saw it for a second there. Yeah, so that's my old repair job, and I can just catch the light. So that's already pretty bad. And then it's just so shattered again. That's a nice little bowl. I think this one falls under the category of let me just slop so much glue on it. And if it holds together, it holds together. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's okay. Wow, yeah, the gaps in this are pretty huge. I don't know how well... Oh, yeah, this guy's in bad shape. Oh, yeah, you can see light, like, through here. That's pretty bad. I don't think this one's a bowl anymore. Okay. Hey, Craig. I figured from the name it was you. I have to say, I thought that was a giveaway. But, yeah, we're gonna let this guy go. Yeah, so this was my old repair, and I could just pull that away. This guy was in bad shape. That's too bad. Ooh, I did a good job on this side. There's an old repair on here that you almost can't even see, which I'm pretty happy about. There's a little nick there. Actually, can you see on the inside a little better? Yeah, so this was a half well done piece. The other half was less so. Oh, well. Can I just rip this apart? Yeah. Okay, so this guy I'm going to chalk up as not repairable. So we have one definite loss. And, like, doing cool ceramic art where you take broken up crockery and add cement and make it into a planter and stuff like that. Maybe if I get enough of these guys, I can do something like that. So, who knows? That might be a future project. So, tidy up my adorable workspace. Okay, so we'll let go of that one go. Let's try this guy. So this is a lot. This is a lot of little pieces. Very cute little bowl. We use these bowls all the time. These, it's a very shallow little dish. So again, for those who are here for the art show, you can see just how much is going on. It's like a lot of detailed colors. It's a very nice little bowl. And these are condiment bowls usually. So we'll put, you know, sauce in it or sesame seeds, chopped up green onion, whatever I'm doing that day. Ooh, although right off the bat, I see a problem with this. There is a triangular piece missing, which I don't know if I've seen among all these bits. No. Okay, so right away, and this is the problem, of course, with not repairing something right away. There is a piece missing. So it's a tiny piece. Like, maybe put this together. But you can see that guy. Let me get the light there. So this triangular bit right here. Oh, I'm frozen again? Looks choppy on my end, but I'm still moving. Yeah, no, my bitrate, I tell you guys. Okay, did it Shard Mom, did it unfreeze? Or am I still hanging for you? Yeah. Let's see if that unfreezes me. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll get you back in a minute. And then, of course, this is the fun puzzle. So this one, like, the pieces are largely fitting back together pretty nicely. I say that, like, the moment I say that, this one's a little weird. Yeah, this might be a good one to just let go. Because I might be able to repair it. And it's so pretty. You know, like... Yeah. So you can see it's... That hole, though. Having a hole right in the base like that really reduces what I could possibly be putting into this. Which I'm not super happy about. It is a fun little puzzle, though. Yeah, because I've got, you know, definitely every major piece of it. And they come together pretty nicely. Let me just rummage through here one more time. Is it just sitting somewhere? No. Yeah. Okay, I mean, the fact that this one's missing such a big piece, I think I'm just gonna let this one go. So, can I snap this off? Yeah, I can. How about this? Aha! Satisfying. Nope, okay. But there, that looks like the beginning of an art project, right? Smashing this guy down into these little pieces. So that's the sort of thing that I really feel like if I want to do some additional broken ceramic project, this would be great. So... That'll go with my other friend. Let that guy go. Alright, I'm going to check back in with my original pieces that I was trying to soak off the really, really tenacious adhesive. Man, it's still on there. Some of these pieces are looking a little better. But... It always sucks when I have to be careful about picking off with a tool because that actually removes some of the ceramic. Oh, but it is coming off. Okay, so this is nice. The soaking it in so much acetone loosened up the adhesive on both sides. So even though the adhesive is still like these big pats of gross yellow old glue, it actually did come off front and back a little. But... I don't know. I'm gonna be bummed if the only thing I managed to actually repair today is a coaster. That, I mean, that's one. I did successfully repair something. But this might not work out. Oh well. The greater failure is to not even try, right? Yeah, because these aren't changing as much as I want them to. And it's just such a nice mug. Oh well. Yeah, that guy might not work. Alright. Well, I've got one thing here that is not meant to hold food. It's meant to hold napkins. So this is the nice side. So check out that for your artwork. This is a black pottery egg-shaped napkin holder, as in like little disposable paper napkins, from Oaxaca, Mexico. I got it on my honeymoon, and it is one of the things that did not survive the plane trip home, which was really tragic because, like, again, look at this. Look at that detail. It's such cool pottery. And there's this one particular village that's known for making black pottery, and black pottery is gorgeous, and you should never, ever eat off of it because the things that make it black are things like gasoline, and tar, and all sorts of horrible petroleum products. So it's funny when you go there because it's this town where the ceramic shops have all these big displays out front of like huge bowls with a lot of like these carvings like this and really, really pretty stuff. And then not really coffee mugs. Yeah, you know. The Oaxaca as a state has a bunch of different regions of a bunch of different types of ceramic. So like every mountain has a different clay, basically. Everybody's got their secret spot where they mine their clay. Oh yeah, I love this one. And so you can get black pottery, there's a region of red pottery, and then there's green pottery. And green pottery is a little bit tough because it's actually kind of toxic. There's lead in the glaze, and it's a little, yeah, right. It's a little dicey, but people still use that pretty traditionally, even though maybe you shouldn't. Whereas, like, the black pottery, everybody's like, oh, no, don't, no. Like, not for touching with food or your human parts. But you can hold a napkin. So, okay, so this is basically, of the puzzle, this is my side that tells me what the puzzle is supposed to look like. And here's my problem, and there's all the pieces. So I've got to get this back together. So again, good thing is that it doesn't have to pretend to be water tight or anything like that. It's never going to come to that. Bad thing is this is another re-repair because it broke on the way back from my honeymoon a million trillion years ago. So I got to get the pieces kind of back on in a way that hopefully they'll stay better. And you can see my old glue job on here is spotty. There's some gaps, and that's kind of good, kind of bad. You don't necessarily need your adhesive to cover absolutely every single bit, but like up here, you can see there's like a big old gap. I don't know. I think I could have done better. I keep having these discussions with me of the past, and me of the past just doesn't seem to change. I don't know. So the fun thing with doing this type of puzzle is, of course, you have to figure out which element you're repairing first, because you might lock yourself out of the next part that you want to be able to fix, which is bad. But I have to even find it. So what I want to find first is this notch. It's got these, pretty basic up and down little striations. Pretty easy question mark sort of stuff. Oh wow, this piece is a bummer. It has almost no outer bit. I don't think it's the dude I'm looking for. Ooh, it might be part of the dude I'm looking for. So that's compelling. Maybe this guy. Okay, no, that's definitely the piece. Boop, boop, like, for surezies. So, that's super satisfying. But then, that's gonna be, whoa. That one's got some major overhang, so if I put that in its place, then this whole area kind of gets locked out. So now I actually need this piece next. Okay, that's a top edge. That's a top edge. Nope. Okay, that's cool. So this piece definitely goes here. The edges on this are really weird because, again, it's this ovoid shape, but actually with this piece, you can sort of see where that would be the notch that you would put your napkins in. So this is meant to remain empty. I just have to get the next bottom piece. Maybe it's this guy. Oh yeah, totes. Ha 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 ha, I was quick. I just like picked that up and put that there and it was real good. Okay, that's a nice friendly piece. I can put this one here and it's not going to interfere with putting other pieces in. I'm not worried about locking them out. Wow, look at that really cool like swoop shape of a broken bit. So this has some old adhesive, so I think I might hit that with a little bit of not hydrogen peroxide. Man, I'm talking about that. Acetone just to soften it, but I'm not going to try and remove it all because it's not blocking me from anything. And I have to be really careful when I'm doing a repair like this because there are parts that I repaired last time that aren't apart. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this, this upper corner here. I glued that on last time and it's still on, so I don't want to put so much acetone on that would possibly come loose. So I'll just, like, basically rough that up. Yeah, so that's gonna go there. So I'll use my super glue. Can I go all the way up? Yeah, I can go up to that tip. So, and it's kind of nice working on something that, again, is not going to be dealing with food at all. Because I don't really care if it's totally smooth. You know, so if it's got little bits of super glue sticking out of it, who cares? I'll hold my napkins. You know. Alright, so now I'm actually gluing that. And I just need it to hold on enough that I can put the other pieces on and move around at all. Okay, so that's staying on. So, was this my little... No. This is my little friend. Don't throw it. Yeah, so I think I want to keep filling in this gap. So this piece is real nice. That just fits right back into that. And that might lock out whatever goes in there. So I think this is going to work, but I want to figure out what that next piece is before I commit to that. Now I'm in these weird inner areas, so like, I don't know. Up is down, left is right. So yeah, boo, I don't know at all what goes in that spot. Okay, well this guy... Where's that really nice piece? Okay. So I know that one goes there. Actually, I might as well put that on. That doesn't have any conflict. So I'm going to take this one out. And I'll put this guy here. And so with this one, it looks like there's a kind of a central fragment. Here, you know, these are supposed to be like teardrop-shaped openings, but you can tell that that one's a little chipped. I don't think I have the piece for that, though. This is a problem with having a broken things bag. You just have piles of stuff that can fall through the cracks in an absolute literal sense. Yeah, I don't think I have that piece. So I'm just going to glue this on, and I'm okay with the opening being a little weird. Do I find after doing repairs in the past that don't work, do they currently work? Sometimes. I've had luck where if I go back a second time, I've got it. And then a bunch of them are like, nope, even worse, and they just fall apart. So I figure it's worth trying it twice, pretty much. Twice in quick succession. If it's been years and it breaks again, oh yeah, I would try again. Yeah, I should be able to get that. That's like, well, that. Yeah, so sometimes I don't go back. Or if something's like shattered, so there's lots of little tiny pieces and I want to be able to eat off of it. So like, you know, if it's really fragmented, if it's one big, nice, smooth crack, shoot, I'll try that. You know, why not? But not always that lucky. Okay. So I've got that piece now, and you can see the big gap, you know, so that's a common thing with a re-repair, is the crack is super obvious because it's full of glue and doesn't sit quite as nicely as it did probably the first time around. And this was a good repair the first time around. We used this to hold napkins for years, and it cracked in the last move. So this is one where my first repair job took me forever because there's all these shattered pieces in my luggage, so that was nice. But then I was able to get it back together and use it, and then it just wouldn't have... It's a bad shape. Like, it's funny because in nature, an egg shape is actually one of the strongest shapes you can have. But if it's an egg shape with a big dang crevice down it that you're supposed to put napkins in, it's actually like a freaking weak format, and then you fill it with cracks, and it, I don't know, it doesn't really hold together well. Ooh, I'm really liking these two pieces though. That's starting to come together. So there, we've got a bit of that shape coming back. Maybe not enough to hold a napkin, but they're there. And I'm only vaguely gluing myself to it when I move my fingers around it. Okay, so I wanted to put this little wedge piece in next. So this is the one, I keep coming back to this piece. I keep trying to get this guy in and finding something else that works better. And so my fear with that one is what goes in this top notch. Although I should also just figure out what goes in the big notch. It's just good to know at all. So let's see who that might be. I have a feeling it's this guy. Oh yeah, totally that guy. Alright, so these two pieces form that whole wedge. So that's a pretty nice setup. Sometimes I will, like if I have two pieces like this that go together really well, I'll try gluing them ahead of time and putting them in. I don't think that's going to work here. It's just not settling in really. Well, I say that. Man, I can practically hold that in with tension. Look at that. That went in really, really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to leave those unglued for a second because I'm still trying to figure out what goes in that notch. But I'm actually feeling a lot more confident about that since it's just like staying in there. And the fact that that wants to stay like that also shows that the rest of the repair is actually holding together really nicely, so I feel pretty good about that. Okay, well that's... this guy is definitely the top of the egg shape, so I can leave that by itself. So this is probably this other side. Yes. Okay, so that's the other big side. Which means that by process of elimination, this little dude is probably yuppers. Okay. Oh, there's a springtail on here. Can you see the little bug moving around? Yeah, you can kind of... He's out of focus. There's a little springtail that I'm just totally freaking out. For those who have not seen what these guys are, springtails are detritus eaters. They live in leaves and mulch and things and weird gross drains and the backs of closets, and they're completely harmless. That is a buggo who will harm nobody. And they eat the gross stuff that, you know, makes the world dirty. Oh, I've lost him. Oh, I hope he's okay. Sorry, buddy. So he was probably happily living in the bottom of that bag, eating, you know, the skin follicle bits and whatever else that fell into the bottom, and is quite upset that I've gone and upset his little tiny world. Oh. I have no idea where I went. I hope he's okay. Sorry. So, what I have learned... I really don't want to glue a tiny insect to my project. I hope he's okay. Anywho, what I have learned is that I can just set this piece here, so I don't have to worry about that notch. So I'm going to pull out these two pieces that I still need to glue. And they come in and out as a really nice continuous piece, so I'm going to glue the center first, and then put it, I'll, you know, put the glue on here second, after I get these two combined. So, put that to the side. I might actually be almost done with this particular little thing of super glue. Don't worry, I have more. They came in a multi-pack. I knew you were worried. I could feel your worry through the internet. This is not a true statement. Okay. Yeah, it's so funny. Sometimes when you glue pieces, they just work. Like, no additional pressure needed. It's like they missed each other. So, that's very satisfying. Alright, so I think I will open another one of these little containers. I like the fact that somebody at the Super Glue Factory, or whatever, Super Glue Central, realized that you only need, like, this much super glue usually at any given day, or less than this, and so having, like, the really big crazy glue tubes was actually sort of wasteful and crummy. So, good engineering. Well done. Also good engineering is now the cap's just on. Honestly, people at Loctite Superglue have my loyalty. Okay, so... Ooh, you can kind of see, one of the reasons why this is so weak is all the carvings. Here, let me pull this out. This blacker edge here is the edge of the carving. And so it basically broke along where the carving had gone deeper into the ceramic, which is not super shocking. But again, it's a decorator item, so kind of course, like, you're gonna have weaker stuff. It's not meant to put up with being, like, your main dish of the week, but it's also too bad. Which way goes down? Aha, this way. Oop. I see another spot I missed putting glue on. Okay. It's hard to know, like, how to hold my hand so you guys can see this. Sorry. Oop. Oh, it's not quite lining up the way I want. Almost. And almost is definitely okay for this project. This is almost as good enough. Oh yeah, okay. So that's starting to be like definitely part of a adorable little egg napkin holder thing. Okay. Yeah, no, that's coming together really, really nicely. So this guy was the top. Actually, here, let's do this. So this is the top apex of the egg. That definitely goes together like that. And then I have these two additional pieces. So that goes there for sure. And I don't know where my little friend right here goes. That final piece, I might just have to like put it all together and see it. I feel like I can just put these two pieces together. It might not be the worst idea. Oh, hey, I bet that's where that piece goes. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to glue these two guys together. I think that's going to work pretty okay. Let's off the side. So these two, that's just a nice clean set that doesn't interfere with anything else. So that's not too bad. Alright. Can you guys hear when my phone goes off? I've got it on vibrate, but vibrate is actually fairly aggro. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, good. Glad. That's excellent, because I want to be able to know if I'm getting something, you know, but I also don't need to be having everybody listen to my phone jingle. Oh, okay, yeah, that went right together. This stuff is great. And also, just talking about that color choice, you can see how the inside is gray and the outside is black, because the really harsh stuff they do to it to give it that nice black color is mostly after process. So again, don't eat off of it. Super don't. It is kind of funny to go to a town where they want to sell you poisonous ceramics. But we're still friends if you're not, you know, lying to me and trying to sell it as a pot, right? Okay, so this, I'm pretty sure this little niblet goes somewhere in here. And I just got to figure out where that is. Without, of course, applying so much pressure that all the work I did falls apart. Definitely the ideal. Okay. So I've got that big gap. And I don't think this guy goes in there, actually. And I've got this piece. You know, I might be able to get this piece, put this off to the side, onto here, because I don't think that'll interfere with re-gluing anything. Yeah, that just creates a nice piece. I should be able to get that on there. So let's do this guy first. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, this was a good idea. The other thing with this glaze type, if you can call it that, or staining or whatever, is it's shiny. Like you can see that it's not matte exactly, but the whole thing is very fragile. So this whole poor edifice is just chipped all over the place because it kind of shatters the edges when it breaks. So it's too bad, but I think it'll still be pretty. I'll still use it. I would hold a napkin in this. This is such a substantial piece, I'm not sure where it goes. Alright, so I've got these guys together. Okay. So that is real nice. Except for the big obvious gap, which you think my big obvious piece would go into in a big obvious way. I think I found it. Okay. This... Oh, I totally found it. Okay, I found it. Jeez, that was a lot of work. Okay. I'm going to put this little dude on here first, and then put the whole thing together. That's been leaking like crazy. Okay, so this teensy weensy piece. Oh man, I put too much adhesive on there. Makes it kind of wet and saggy. And no one likes wet and saggy. That's like a bad selection of adjectives. Okay. I'm not going to let that sit for too long because I think that'll be better off if I actually get the whole thing glued back together. So... Okay, I gotta show you guys this. My two things have been leaking. Let's see if it comes into focus. So there's just like so much adhesive on the outsides of these. But that's okay, I'm gonna use it, so fine. Blah. And at this point in the project, I still have not actually glued my fingers together. So, that's not to say there hasn't been glue on my fingers. That's a different criteria. But I have definitely not actually lost function in my hands via glue. Not that that's ever happened before. Put a little dot there. Okay, gotta get all these surfaces. The nice thing about super glue is it dries super fast, being kind of the point. But not so fast that you can't take a minute and get adhesive on all your surfaces, especially with this gel type. So this stuff, for the right project, is pretty darn great, actually. Instead of just having it immediately flatten out the way the thin Aran Alpha does. Okay. So hypothetically, this will just work. Wouldn't that be grand? Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, this I think is now a second thing that has been successfully repaired. And again, it's missing bits and it's all shattered, but its entire job is to be pretty and hold napkins, and if one half of it is, you know, it has a good side, let's say. So that'll work out all right. The good side will be out on the shelf. So there. So there's our good side. This is, you know, the part that you show the nice guests. And then there's our working side. Which, you know, it's alright. It's actually still really pretty. So. Okay. We have now repaired 2 things successfully and definitely discarded 2 things. And I'm not feeling good about the other ones, but hey, it's more than just... I've repaired more than just a coaster. So I'll take it. Oh yeah, I'm actually pretty darn happy with that. Alright, I'm gonna put this behind me so again I don't dink into it or something and feel really lousy. Man. Okay, so you can actually see that some of the black glaze has gotten on my fingers because it's been powderized. So I'm going to take a second and go wash my hands and take a break. So I guess the time is 2:22 from my point of view. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. So I will see you guys in a second. Okay, I'm back. and so I went and washed my hands, and I mentioned that I had successfully not glued my fingers together. While this is true, the glue is pretty funny. You can see exactly all the speckles of glue because they held onto the dirt. And so that's all super glue that's held onto groats. So I'm going to have to more energetically try to, I don't know, exfoliate. But I'll worry about that later. Okay, I have my 2 previous things. I have one more ceramic project, which I think is a dud, but we will see. And then we'll move on to possible epoxies and other weird stuff. So this guy is in a nice set of pieces, which gives me a lot of hope. Man, are all of these re-repairs? I kept thinking these were fresh things, and then I see that they're all bashed up. I guess, to answer my mom's question from earlier, it's not that re-repairs don't work and all that, but it's rather that my repair jobs are just not as good as the original thing, and they come apart when I move apartments. I actually think I'm pretty good at packing, all things considered. I spent a lot of time running around picking up all those free newspapers that they throw in front of your house. For those in the UK, I have no idea if that's a thing, but for US people, very aggressive free newspapers that are mostly advertising, there's a thing they just leave out in front. And I love those things. I have used those free newspapers for all sorts of stuff. So obviously for packing material, they're divine. I just would go for a walk and pick them up everywhere because nobody cares if I take them. And they're just laying in weird gangways and whatever. When I was getting my license for my scooter, I don't need an M class to ride my scooter. My scooter is under 150 cubic centimeters, so I don't need to get a motorcycle license. But there is a DL class license for riding scooters. And so when I went to go take the test for that the first time, I didn't do it. I managed to biff the obstacle course, but the heavily tattooed, really cool guy, 149, the really cool heavily tattooed dude who was testing me was like, you're this close, go home, set up some cones, and by tomorrow you'll be fine. And so I go home, and of course I do not own cones, and so I had to figure out an alternative, and I also didn't want something if I ran into it that I would, just wipe out immediately, because wiping out on the scooter still hurts. And I don't want to do that. I'm just picking adhesive off the edge, by the way, while I'm talking. And so I found a whole bunch of those newspapers and set them up in my alley where the cones would go so I could weave around them. And it was perfect, because if you kind of roll over one, you don't wipe out. So those little free newspapers are annoying crap, let's be true, but, as annoying crap goes, not so bad. I mostly worry about the heinous waste of paper that they represent. So I got a lot of the old adhesive off just with my fingernails. It was real flaky. But I'm not sure if I can get all of it. Now that part came off real good. This might work. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh, and I actually didn't show off this dish to all its glory. So the bottom, you can see has this cool, well, maybe. Come on, camera. There we go. Has this really nice, spray pattern. And the outside is these little bumples. So it's a matte brown with these shiny little bumples. And, oh, looks like I'm frozen again. It's streaming for me. You're still getting audio. Weird. Yeah, because this one now is showing up fine on my feed this time, as opposed to last time when I was frozen and everybody else was fine. Let me know. I still don't know how to say your name exactly. Meganorosoraka. Nah. I thought I had it down. Okay, so you've got audio and... Meh. Okay, I've moved it down just a squidge. We'll see if that helps. It's also funny for me because there is a distinct delay when I'm doing this, and so I look up to see if it worked, and I see my own face looking very, focused, trying to fix things, and it's sort of weird. Meganara is a genus of giant fossil dragonfly and orca. Oh. Okay. When it's broken up like that, that's easier to see. I'll go with Meganara. Or I guess just orca. That's easy too. But... Okay, then Meganara, are you back up and running? Because from my end, things look good. All of my, all my meters are showing happy things. Although, Pseudonym, if you can confirm that it's running on your end, too. Pseudonym is acting as moderator, which is why they get the cool little sword. No? Seriously? Man. Okay, yeah, maybe that's on your end, then. Yeah, try refreshing, because I don't think it's me this time. Or not just me? I don't know, I'll share credit. Yeah, so fun thing with Twitch is you can make anybody a moderator, and so they don't have to be 2 rooms away from you, which is what my moderator is, but you can make it anybody. And that gives you extra toys to play with. But then your job is to, help people with tech problems. Or yell at somebody if they're being meanie faces. The internet is sadly full of those. Okay, I feel pretty good about that piece. Oh man, there's so much crusty old, it looks like lichens. I find it interesting to find out that you guys do have to do the reload. We were talking about, streaming formats. So there's Facebook Live, there's YouTube, and now Twitch. And I like Twitch for a lot of reasons. It gives me a lot of tools on my end to do a lot more. I found Facebook pretty cut and dry, which is good. Like, if you're just Facebook Living because you want to show your friends you're at a barbecue or whatever, cool. And I have not played with YouTube. I know of at least one person who's on YouTube, but I haven't messed with it at all. So that's something to keep in mind, is if this isn't working, maybe YouTube is better, but I really like the controls on Twitch. And the name is funny. Okay, I've almost got all that really bad overhang off of this guy. Picking old adhesive off of this really reminds me of prepping fossils. Both from the actual prepping fossil sense, and then I also just picked old adhesive off of stuff a lot. So, it's a theme. Yeah, basically, it's funny because I'm going to be doing a lot of taxidermy type things on here, probably starting next week. But this particular project just is pure nostalgia for fossils. Hence the t-shirt. I have my Datasaurus t-shirt on. I miss fossil prep so bad. So hopefully the Field Museum will be letting volunteers back ever. Obviously my fossil does not miss me. It waited, whatever that was, 140 million years. It can wait a little longer. But, or 240 million years. Wow! I have been away from my fossil so long I don't remember how old it is. That's super bad. But it's pre-Triassic. If anybody felt like looking that up. I took a break and I foolishly didn't refill my water. I just drank it. Oh well. It'll get me through. So I was happy with my Field Museum friends. One of the head of the lab, Akiko Shinya, just sent out a big update about the expedition to Utah this summer, and like these guys, they spent all their time prospecting in different areas and found like nothing. So the glorious life of a dino hunter, sometimes you come up with nothing at all. But they at the end of their field season, they went to an area where they knew it was full of stuff and they'd found things previous, and so they started digging up a adult, I think it was an Elasmosaurus. I think that's what it was. That they'd found 5 years ago and hadn't bothered to dig up because they had an adult Elasmosaurus and they were more interested in finding juveniles. And so they left it in the dirt. And so they're like, we're bored. Might as well go get that. And there's another researcher who's doing more study on specifically like trying to figure out if you can track or if you can look at fossils and identify if a dinosaur is juvenile or not and what growth looks like. And so they do want more adults, and so suddenly they had a little bit more incentive to go back. Elasmosaurus is a huge duckbill dinosaur, and so it's not like you can fit 8 of them in your truck on the way back from Utah. So you gotta want it if you're gonna dig it up. You have to have a plan for it. You have to have somewhere to put it. And so they did decide to get that. And they also found a new species of some sort of crocodilian that might be new to science. They won't know for sure until they, prep it and get it out of there. So the first part of their summer expedition was pretty boring. The final part, pretty cool. And now they're back at the field a little bit. But Akiko was saying that it was kind of nice to be out in the field because everybody got tested for COVID before they went out. And then you're all sleeping in tents in the same tiny area and you're hundreds of miles from any other human being. And so, of course, you don't have to worry about masks or all that whatever. And so they were in their own little bubble for the whole summer. And it was very nice. So there are some glorious parts to being a dino hunter. Okay, that piece is pretty okay. That's pretty okay. That's okay. And the final one. Ugh. So much old crust. Super grown. I'm glad I'm trying this with the pin. The other one, you could tell it didn't have any flaky edges. I wouldn't have been able to pick this off. This is super satisfying to just have the adhesive go flying off in various directions. I'm glad I'm wearing glasses. It's probably not good for my computer keyboard, which is like right there. But, Man, okay, so this is me of the past actually doing a pretty good job with the gluing. I have just a ton of adhesive down here in the bowl of the bowl. Wow, good job, me. The floor of the bowl, because of course that's where the greatest fluid pressure is going to be, and you really need that to hold whatever. Where putting all of it up in the top is less useful. So, in this case, I agree with me of the past. I think I had a good plan there. That was a good piece. Okay. Yeah, this one I feel pretty good about trying to get together because it's just 4 easy pieces. And these edges are not too shabby. So that's nice. So a really funny thing about doing these streams is the whole reason this came about is I miss my lab. Not the Field Museum lab. That one's, I work a little different there because it's not mine. I'm just a volunteer there. But at my old Beecher lab, where we did fresh animal specimen prep, I had to work with my work facing away from me because I had an audience. which are, you know, if you're doing your own thing, you have it facing towards you, but when you want to show other people, you have it face away. So I'm already somewhat used to doing this. And so it really, you know, I have to figure out the camera. It's a little different than facing a human being, but it's very familiar and kind of nice. That lab was fun. Sadly, they are closed. And before anybody asks me, no, I have no idea when they're going to reopen. It's not been made available to me. The world is full of mystery. I'll call that good enough. So for upcoming feeds, I've been mentioning taxidermy. I need to get some specimens. I have some that are probably going to arrive this afternoon. I believe they're on their way. And then I have another friend I got to hook up with and probably get specimens from them. But I won't do that every single time I'm streaming. I'm thinking that might be midweek stuff or Saturdays, which I guess I'm only leaving out Sunday if I describe it that way. So it's probably going to be Saturday night, or I might choose like a Tuesday or something. I haven't really decided. It really depends on how much stuff I have. Whereas I think I'll definitely keep doing workshop stuff. Like, I got to make that foil ball. Hello. So I'm going to be doing that for sure. And then I'm going to stick to Sundays as being cooking projects. So Meganar, you had mentioned making palak paneer, and so I've been looking that up. I have to get some spices to be able to do that and fresh cilantro, but I'm so on board because I can make the paneer and I can make the spinach sauce. So I just need to get some stuff if I want to do that. So I'm aiming to do that on Sunday. I'll do homemade palak paneer, hopefully. If nothing else, I'll make the paneer. I definitely have the dairy to make the cheese. So I can do that pretty easily. So I've had a pretty good run making cheese this summer. I sort of accidentally... Ooh, can do. I accidentally made cottage cheese because I had half a gallon of milk that went sour on me. And it didn't go terrible sour. Like, terrible sour is terrible sour. You're done. You throw that away. You move on with your life and feel vaguely bad for wasting it. It didn't go terrible sour. It just went slightly sour. So it smelled funny. And you could tell it was a little weird. I must have missed it by, like, a day. And I found out that that's, like, a great time to make cottage cheese. And so I did. And it's interesting because since it was sort of soured, there, you know, active cultures are happening, sort of whatever. So you do cook it, so you're killing off some of that good bacteria. But it made a really tangy cottage cheese that was actually pretty darn good, and it didn't taste anything like you get in the stores. But I really liked it. So I did that, and I have made a queso blanco, which was practically the same couple of steps. You just cooked it at a higher temperature, and then you squeezed it into the right shape. And that was another one. It didn't taste like queso blanco like I usually crumble on my Mexican food, but it was pretty good. So I can probably pull off a paneer that'll be weird, and I'm okay with that. Like, as long as it's tasty, it doesn't have to be an exact match. So, but yeah, I will talk to V. Do you know, does her family make that sort of stuff or what? I don't know if she's still on. I know she was on for a minute there. Oh, I've almost got all this gross off. Oh, man. I just had a chunk go flying off and make a really loud clatter over there, so I'm not sure entirely what it landed on, but that's okay. Oh, okay, so you guys were, like, literally just talking about palak paneer. Well, cool. I'm glad it's fresh. Yeah, I don't know anything about the various and multitudinous regions of India. Talk about a big, complicated landmass full of really complicated people. But the vast majority of the food I've tried related to that landmass, I'm a big fan of. Okay. I think we have hit good enough. So with that in mind, I got my dudes here. Actually, no, this dude goes here. Oh yeah, like that piece is just gonna go on. Okay, I think I can get this into a functional bowl again pretty easily. I feel pretty good about it, actually. So, being nerdy about Aran Alpha again, I would use Aran Alpha on a freshly broken bowl, I think, and not the gel, because it would leave less residue, whereas right now I kind of want the residue. Yeah, like that just goes right together. This guy basically cracked, like, right in half. And then some, of course. So it didn't crack only in half. Okay. This side's not staying together as well as the first one. Give that a second to try and catch it. So I think the first piece of this guy, I just did was actually a fresh break, whereas this is an old break that I'm re-gluing. But that's okay. And one of the ways I can tell is so much of my adhesive came squirting out from between the layers of the first bit, and this one not so much because there's stuff blocking this side. Yeah, I don't know if this one's going to stay together. It's together enough. So let's do the big long... Man, I hope I have enough adhesive for this. Ah, man, there's a fuzzy. You can kind of see. Gross. I gotta get that off. Just don't really want a fuzzy permanently part of my ceramics. I have 3 cats. My life is full of fuzzies. So, doing a live stream, because it's 2020, of course, the thing you have to wonder is when are the cats going to show up? And I'm in the room that they're least likely to spend extra time in because it's their litter box room. And so they view this as a very much utilitarian part of the living space. And so I don't know if my cats are going to particularly come in here because they don't associate it with being a place one hangs out. They're far too prim for that. Which makes it maybe the ideal? Maybe this is what everybody who has a problem with cats interrupting their feeds should do, is park it next to their litter boxes. You know, so hey, if that becomes something you see in one of those advice columns, you heard it here first. Okay. Oh yeah, that's working. Okay. about that? Okay, so this bowl has definitely one where it's not gonna hold fluid. I don't explicitly see light through it, but I really don't feel confident because there's some pretty deep cracks. But I would totally eat some nuts out of this, you know, or fill it with green onions and have it on my table. And I'm glad to have it back because I have two of these. I really like these actually. So I'm glad to have this one back in circulation. Yeah, that seems to be working. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's a pretty bowl. I'm glad to have this guy back. Alright, then I'm going to pop this over on the completed pile, so that's 3. Not too bad. Okay, so those are my deads. Let's look back at the ones I was hoping I could repair and was trying to be fancy with. So this guy, I definitely thinned off the top layer of the old adhesive on here. Does it flake off at all, or is it just going to sit? A little bit. Not what I want. Not totally doing the thing here, but we can try it. What I really need, and I might end up getting, is a pin vise, where you have a little carbide rod, carbide steel rod, that you can hand sharpen and really pick at. Push pin is a little softer than that and harder to sharpen. Although that's the other thing I need to get, is I need to get a Dremel. But okay. I think, yeah, that's all the headway I'm going to make on this. Well, actually, let me do this other side. I think there's a flaky bit on this. So we are coming up on 2 hours. I did not get to the other stuff that would be more like epoxy based. So I don't think I'm going to start those. I think I'll wrap up the projects that I have here, and then I'll save those for a future time. That's okay. Switching different adhesives and stuff is a little tough because I want to make sure I have my workspace a little cleaner and stuff like that. So I'm actually pretty okay with that flow. But if anybody has suggestions or preferences about stuff I might work on or chat about, obviously you guys, people who know me, can just freaking tell me in the various methods that you have to do that. Or I think if you don't know me but you still have opinions, I am on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, and you can comment here. But yeah. Yeah, because that looks like that's going to go together. So, alright, let's get this guy together. And I think we'll be 3 for 3, because I don't think this is going to come back together. I can't get enough adhesive off, and it's actually like smooth. And I've repaired that a couple times, so I don't feel that one's going to work. But this I have a medium good feel about. So let's see. I have a partial super glue here. This might actually clean me out of super glue, which I find delightful. Yes, I do repair umbrellas. You remember correctly. I often find orphan umbrellas after storms and repair those guys. Ooh, an umbrella repair would be interesting. I wouldn't have the second camera, probably, because they're so much bigger and bulkier than what I've been working on here. I actually, in all the moves lately, I got rid of some of my kind of less, not hopeless cases. You can repair pretty much anything, but some of my weirder ones. So, oh wow, yeah, I'm really running low on this super glue. And then yeah, I think but next Saturday is gonna be my first specimen prep taxidermy run. So if you're not interested in that, avoid Saturdays. If you are interested in that, check out not this coming Saturday, it's not like 2 days from now, but a little over a week. Alright, that feels pretty good. Okay. Yeah, no, it takes a lot for me to decide that umbrella's not repairable, because that's another one where its basic duty is to be a canopy above your head and keep the rain off of you. And so as long as it's doing that, it doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to, you know, keep the rain off you. So, ooh, I actually feel really good about this. Like, already I can let go. The joint's really tight, so I actually did manage to clear off a lot of the old repair on this, which I feel good about. And then, I don't know how much you can see. You can kind of see that there's a line of the super glue that's sticking up. I don't care. Usually that just shrinks down. And so I don't mind. So this, again, this one might repair up to be soup friendly again. We'll find out. But yeah, okay, no, but maybe we'll talk about umbrellas. I'll see what I have available that's actually repairable. I clearly haven't been out as much collecting them out of the trash. So I just am outside a lot less, but that's okay. Okay, you know, I feel really good. So, okay, so we are 3 for 3. We got 3 repaired ceramics and 3 no-go ceramics. But actually 4? 4, because I wasn't counting the coaster. So 1 coaster, 3 things that are actually made out of proper ceramics. The coaster is some sort of concrete. And I think my cat bento, I think I strengthened this. I'll try this out. So actually, no, I started slow, but I have mostly success stories. So 3 fails, the rest are good, and I will do the other repair stuff in some future feed, probably potentially this time next week. So let's assume that. So let's say Thursday next week, I'll get out epoxy and clean them, and possibly a rivet. If I can get a little rivet to do this guy, because I really want to just rivet this together, but I might just have to JP Weld. Anyway, I will do non-ceramic repair next Thursday, and then Saturday I'm going to try and do Pollock Paneer, or not, I'm sorry, Sunday. This coming Sunday, a couple days from now, I'll do some Pollock Paneer, or at least the paneer. And yeah, feeling good. So thank you, everybody. It's been really fun to talk to you guys, and this is exactly what I was hoping, because being able to do like a long slog of stuff I've been putting off forever, like, oh, it was a big bag of broken things, you guys, with someone to talk to has been really, really nice. So thanks for hanging out with me. I am going to drop off, but thanks, everybody. I will see you guys around.